NTS Design Co. I come live with you guys every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. to do some fun painting tutorial things. So today, we're gonna be working on this gal. Ain't she cute? So she kind of looks like a jewelry armoire, but she's much bigger. So I don't know, what would you classify this as, like maybe like a lingerie cabinet? I don't really know what she's called, but I just know she's super cute and we're gonna fix her up today. So what I like to do with you guys, as per request, is start a project from start to finish with you guys so that you can go back through the lives previously and rewatch them as needed. So as you guys are popping on, say hello. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will try my best. Sometimes the comments come through so fast it's hard for me to see them. So today, this has already been cleaned. She's a little dusty from being in my shop, but she has already been cleaned. I took her hardware off. She had little like wood knobs on there. I'm going to be replacing them probably with crystal knobs. And today I am going to be preparing this gal for paint. Hello, hello. Thank you for popping on. Good morning, Patty. Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning, Woodcrafter. Thank you guys for watching today. I appreciate you guys. So again, this gal is super cute. She's a little bit dusty, but that's okay. I will be fixing her. Hello, Sandy from Florida. Thank you for watching today. Good morning, Kimberly. Good morning, guys. Thank you, thank you. I feel like she's a little too close. Okay, don't do that, she'll tip. All right, so we're just gonna move her back just a smidgy. Okay, so she's got a giant crack on the top of her. Good morning, Jennifer. So that I will be filling that, and then she's super slick. And how I decide with my primer, hey Tammy, thank you so much for watching from Illinois. Hello, hello. So how I decide what primer I'm going to use is this. This is pine. This is gonna bleed a lot, I'm sure. But it's such a slick surface that I'm gonna have a hard time with my paint sticking to this. Hello, Elizabeth. Hello, Donna. Thank you guys so much for watching today from Connecticut. Ooh, I bet it's pretty up there. Are your leaves changing yet? I feel like, I don't know what time that does that, but I feel like it's really beautiful up there in the fall. Isn't it a beautiful piece? What would you call this? Is it like a lingerie cabinet? I mean, I feel like it's like a jewelry armoire, but it's not, right? Because it doesn't lift up. It has shelving on the side. I'm gonna paint the sides a different color. Inside, I think, is like a pop of color. I'm not really sure. I don't know where I'm going with her color. I wanted to paint her at fluff, but she's gonna bleed and I'm not dealing with that. So we'll be painting her in a different color. I'm gonna let you guys help me pick that because I'm just not sure what I'm going to do with that. But today we're gonna talk all about prep. Okay, and so what I do with my pieces of furniture when I first get them is I assess them, I look at them, and I say, oh my gosh, you're beautiful, I need you. And then I take it home, and then hello, thank you for watching. And then I assess everything else. Like, do my drawers function really well? This one, they're on, it's not the most expensive piece of furniture ever. So it's on, let me start with this one. They don't work really well, but it's because they're on these weird wood, there's no tracks, right? This is not like beautifully crafted furniture by any means. And it has these cheap little wood knobs, which I'll be replacing with glass knobs because I think that'll class it up some. It has these kind of sliders, which I'll come in here and like, I'll clean this up and sand in there to make sure any debris over time has gotten in there. And I'll just take one of my foam sanding pads from Dixie Belle. Remove this. And I will just slide in here. It's like the perfect fit, right? So you're just gonna slide it in there. You're not really like sanding. You're just getting any debris that's in there out. Like any like little wood chips or like any like scuffies or anything like that. Scuffies, that's the official term. All right, and then that smooths it out a lot easier. If you want to, the same, run this in the inside of your track. My great grandma's dresser has those wood rails for drawers. Oh, I always do that. I'm trying to like go through your comments and I go on another screen. I'm redoing the dresser now. Oh, nice. Yeah, these are not like my favorite by any means, but I love these. I don't mess up my manicure because it has foam. So I can like push my fingers in here. So that's drawer one side. We're gonna come in here, do the second one. And then I will always hit right here. And if it's real rough, I'll hit the insides. It's not, it's fine. I can see that this is not, it's like held together by nails. It's not fantastic, but it's cute, right? And so the next thing that I'll do after doing that is I will grab this like yucky brush, and that's wax. We'll see if there's anything left in here. Aha, there's just enough. So I will take Big Mama's butter, which is Dixie Belle's Big Mama's butter, and you can see how well loved this is. So like I'll just take it. You don't need a lot. I'll come inside. I love your tool cart too. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I have one of those like rolly things that I keep all my other stuff on, but this one, it's like my little portable toolbox that has all my stuff that I need in there. All right, we're just gonna come in here. This, A, it's gonna make your drawer smell amazing. Secondly, it's my little secret to these like not so fancy drawer slides. I do this to all of them to be fair, but this is gonna help your piece glide so much better. I won't bore you and do it with all of them, but we'll just do this top one for right now. Okay, and that just lives there. And now, I'm just gonna put this back on for a second, or I'm not gonna be able to open it. All right, that's good enough. All right, so now, I mean, it's rickety, right? Because it's just how it is, but now it doesn't stick like the other ones do. So now you do that to all your drawers, and then you're gonna clean the inside of them. You can clean the inside of them with a rag and that Big Mama's butter. It's gonna make them smell amazing and shine up. Just much better. So that's just my little trick to the inside on how to get your drawers working great. All right, throw that back in there, all my other stuff. I'm going to be using my angled mini to apply my slick stick today so I can get in all these little areas. And we will be applying the Dixie Mud in white to the top. Now I normally prime my pieces of furniture first before I do this, which for here it doesn't matter. But the top, I'm gonna raise you guys up. There is a huge crack up here. And so I'm going to show you how to fix that. All right, if you guys are motion sensitive, Patty, look away. All right, and then that you can see that little horse decoupage paper that I've been working on the main page. Okay, so we're gonna come in right here. So when I first did this piece, I cleaned it in White Lightning, which is a TSP cleaner. Let me raise you guys up just a little bit more so I have a head. Dropping all the things. And then, so I wiped it all down, sprayed it, cleaned it, made it beautiful, and now it's ready for whatever else I'm going to do to it. All right, so I wanna angle you, I'm gonna bring you guys right in so you can see. So, there we go, you don't need to see my head. All right, so this is the Dixie Belle mud. Let me grab a stirrer. It's the one thing I don't have. So I like to use, where are you? Usually, here we go. My stud finder was in the way, isn't that funny? My stud finder. All right, so the Dixie Belle mud, you wanna keep it in your refrigerator because it can mold. You wanna mix it up. All right, it's like cream cheese consistency, frosting, whatever. It's like frosting, but you don't wanna eat that. Probably not be the best thing for you. All right, and so what I am going to do, if I'm going to be doing a lot of this with my fingers and getting it everywhere, I wear gloves because I'm not a big fan of getting this on my hands. You don't wanna rinse this down your drains. That would be a big no-no. All right, so that's good and mixed. So you just wanna just kind of get to the bottom of it and mix it up and make sure that it's good and mixed for you. All right, now, as I fling it everywhere, you're gonna take just a little bit on your spatula. We're gonna come in this crack, right? And this is going to fill my crack. Now you can do this probably it does shrink, so you're probably gonna wanna do it depending on how deep this crack is. This one's pretty deep. I will go over this more than once. And I'll take my sanding sponge and just kind of sand off the excess and come back And I'm just filling my crack. All right, there's nothing structurally wrong with this piece. It doesn't need to be clamped together. A lot of the times they will. This one just cracked, and that's okay. It's not the fanciest piece of furniture ever in the universe. All right, now I'm just going over it one more time. Just making sure that she's spilled. And then I'm gonna take all my excess and put it back in there. Waste not, right? And if there are other areas on here, you're gonna use that there too. You don't just have to put it there. But that's what we're doing today for this. The front crack, I'll fix that after we're gonna prime. Just wanna make sure that's really good. Skim coat on there. That's it, she's done. When this is dry, I usually just take a sanding block and just sand it off. That's all I really do to clean it. Or you can take your rag and just wipe it off. Not a big deal. All right, so she's done on the top. All right, we're just gonna make sure there's nothing else on there that needs be. You're gonna put this back in your refrigerator. You don't wanna leave it out because it can mold. Here, got some extra there. If you find a big chunk of it or something, you're gonna wanna wipe it off now because once it dries and hardens, it's a little easier to do this now than it is later. So I'm just catching any spots that I may have seen. I don't want it under my fingernails, that'd be terrible. All right, now I'm gonna bring you guys back down and straighten you out. Great grandpa's dresser was made by him. The wood you can see is so rough. I'm sanding it so I can get Howard's feed and wax on it. Oh, that's gonna be beautiful. I love it, the mud, better than any other product I've ever used. Yeah, Jeannie, it's really good. I really love it. It's like, to compare it to something, it would be like sheetrock mud, but thinner. I'm trying not to make you guys vomit. All right, so now that I've got that done, back you guys up just a smidge, right? Yeah, I love it. So now we're gonna come in. I already pre-shook this because it was like glued shut. Thank you again. I just smacked the top of it with a with a rubber mallet. I keep my rubber mallet in my thing and I smack the top because you can see it all over the floor. I drop stuff and I break things. So for me, it's just easier just to kind of tap, tap, tap. And then I take one of these. My friend Patty, she recommended this. It's rubber. And you just kind of open up your lids for when they stick. If you're a good paint can mommy, you will clean your lids. I do not. And they always look terrible, especially Slick Stick. I'm gonna let this dry overnight. I'm not gonna mess with that. Be sure to hit it like a button. Yes, please do. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. You're amazing. All right, I am not going to be wetting this brush. This only has Slick Stick in it. I just don't feel the need to do that. Again, I chose Slick Stick because this is such a slick surface. I need my furniture to have, or my paint to have something to grip to. How I choose my primers is depending on what color I'm going to paint it. If I think it's going to be a bleeder, if I was painting this a lighter color, I would do a really good scuff sand and I would add a couple coats of Boss. Since I have not scuff sanded this piece and all I did was just clean it, the chances of it bleeding through are a little less. I just will be putting the Slick Stick on here and I will not be painting this a very light color because I do not want to risk the chance of bleed through. If you don't know what bleed through is, it's when the tannins of the wood come through and it looks like coffee or like yellow or pink, and it's just called bleeding, and that can happen. So we are going to avoid that and we're just going to go ahead and we're going to use our Slick Stick. And again, this is a primer by Dixie Belle and it is a bonding, it's a adhesive. Shake well, product will settle after. You just want to stir it, shake it up, whatever you want to do. I'm a very light-handed painter, and I apply very little product at a time. I will put it on and then I will just kind of fan it out. Feather painting, however you want to say it. I just paint very little. This is not for coverage. This is just getting it down to give it's something to stick to, okay? It doesn't have to look pretty. It's not meant to look pretty. Its job is just to lay there so that when I put my paint on it, my paint will have something to grip to and it'll be beautiful. I missed your comment. Unfortunately, I want it in clear. Watch the piece behind for splatter. Thank you. You guys know I'm terrible for that. And I just started painting this piece too, so I'm gonna move first. Thank you. I don't want to repaint that. I would be very sad. I do have to paint the top of it, but I don't want to repaint the bottom. So thank you very, very much. You guys know I am super klutzy. Let's move this one over just a little bit. This is really heavy. Let me just tell you, like, she's a solid piece. And usually when someone says, oh, it's a heavy piece of furniture, it's MDF. No, this is solid pine. She weighs a lot more than she looks like she would. I was surprised when I picked her up. She was definitely a lot heavier than I thought. All right, and again, I'm not using a lot because I'm like slapping this on. You guys are always looking out for me. Thank you very, very, very much. And what color do you think we should paint her? I'm gonna let you guys pick. What color do you guys think she should be painted? I have to sell her, so let's remember that. I don't want to paint it like, you know, orange or anything. But like, although it would be super cute for Halloween. Any ideas? Should we do like French country on her? Something just kind of like super soft. I tried the slick stick on metal. It's the bomb. Oh my God, this stuff will stick to anything. Like glass, metal, I love it. It is by far amazing. And it is, I prime every piece of furniture. You do not have to with Dixie Belle Paint. I do because I sell all my furniture and I do not allow the 30 days for it to cure before I put it in my booth, which is why I prime everything. I do not have the room for it to store it. So my extra little like security blanket is I just prime it. It may sit in my booth for 30 days, but I don't have room for it to sit here. So what color do you guys think we should paint her? Anybody know? Make sure I'm not missing your comments. Okay. I don't know what color we should paint her. Something pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. I will take all the drawers out and paint the inside lip of the drawers, but when I'm live, it's a little harder. And I'll do all that like we did with the top drawer, where we clean it and sand it. All of the things. As you can see, I go both ways, but then when I am done, I just will do a light finishing stroke across it. I like duck egg, French linen. If you were painting the top, I missed the beginning of the lead. I will be painting the top. It has Dixie mud on it right now, so that has to dry overnight. So I will let that dry because it has a giant crack across the top. So I'll be allowing that to dry. Terracotta oranges, maybe some pink blended in. That sounds pretty. Sounds like a sunset. Sounds like a sunset. I'm gonna grab this little edge right here. I feel like these shelves are gonna be the death of me to paint. I'm like, ooh, they're gonna be pretty. I'm gonna paint them a different color. I feel like I will be regretting that later. You ever like, oh, that sounds like a great idea. I'm always into French Provençal. Yes, beautiful. I love French Provençal. My friend Aaron from Bowtie Treasures, he is like the king of those. If you guys don't follow him, he is a content creator for Dixie Belle as well. He is always painting French Provençal. I think he gets a lot of them where he is. I don't see a lot of them here. I get a lot of that style of furniture here. She's pretty. I need to finish her today too. She is on my list of things to do. All right, so that's that. I'm gonna turn this bad boy. Ugh. Golly, you're heavy. And we're gonna work on the shelf part. Ah. It's heavy. I swear it's a lot heavier than it looks. All right, and I have learned to keep things awake from where I'm painting. Okay, so Anybody have an idea on colors? We talked about the oranges. I think I might. You know, I haven't done French linen in so long. We were just talking about French linen yesterday on the Crazy Brush Show. And I don't know, maybe French linen will be really pretty on here. I have a hard time. You can, let's see. Good morning, can you blend colors over Slick Stick? Yeah, you can paint just like you normally do. I'm jealous, I love this piece. It's fun, right? It's such a fun piece. Yes, you can blend whatever paint you want on top of it. This is just primer. All this is doing is just making sure that my, my paint's gonna stick. That's all this is doing. That's it. And I have this is why I picked the angled brush so that I could get in these little corners and areas so much easier. I wish I had a mini sprayer. I don't think they make that. But wouldn't that be nice? Just like shoop, shoop, and it'll be done. It's kind of rustic feeling. Again, I'm just slapping this on. By the time I'm done, this will be dry enough for me to paint the front. I find it easier to paint the back first, and then I work my way to the front. That's smart. That is super smart. I'm all over the place when I paint. I'm like, I'm gonna paint a little over here, I'm gonna paint a little over here. Especially when I'm live, because I'm talking to you guys. So I get like super squirrely distracted. Again, I'm not making it perfect on the insides. No one's gonna touch this part. It's just there just to kind of have it on there, to be honest. I make sure my skin would be flapping all over that. Aww, oh my goodness. Aww, from crying. Angry eyes. I'm sorry, love. You're silly. Silly, silly, silly. There's no judgment. This is the judgment-free zone here. We're just painting and putting it on there. You're adorable. What state are you in? I am in North Carolina. Not laughing at the pancreatitis, though. That's not fun. No, we are definitely not laughing at that. That is terrible, and I can't even imagine. You poor thing. But your humor is adorable. Again, the reason why I love this brush is I can flip it and just get right into these little areas because it is angled. It makes my life way easier when I am painting. If you guys haven't tried the angled brush, that is why I love it. Thank you. Okay. Didn't Melissa do a piece like this with sunflower decoupage paper? She did, like, it was like a little table, like a little teeny tiny table. It wasn't as big as this, I don't believe. But yeah, she did something similar. Melissa is amazing. She's like, she's a beast, I swear. She's everywhere. You can't turn on social media without seeing her. She is definitely amazing and creative and super talented. Wiggles. All right, let me grab my little pad. Hold on, guys. You guys know if I'm gonna be sitting down, I have to sit on my little foam pad. All right. I'm gonna drop you guys down. We're going down, you ready? Just for this last little shelf, and then I'll pop you back up. Whee! All right. And then I'll turn it and do the other shelf too while I'm down here. And then we'll think of paint. I still think I might do cotton, or not cotton, fluff. I pulled fluff out. I kind of really want to paint it in fluff. I haven't used fluff in so long. If you guys use fluff, we usually pick the paint colors or help with the item. And make sure I'm not missing you guys. To use decoupage paper with the sun would look nice on the front of that. That would be really pretty, Jan. Thank you. I do love decoupage paper. I'm using the horse one right now. I need to finish blending it. It's so pretty. All right, get in here. And I like working with you guys with this in the process because I feel like you guys get to be more of a part of it. I finally wrapped my yoga mat so I can paint on the floor. Nice, good for you. Yeah, this is like, I have another foam pad from like a gardening thing. This I got from a car show. It's usually chalk paint. So it helps. I guess they kneel on it or whatever, but I got it because I was like, I'm gonna sit on it when I'm painting. It's gonna be awesome. It's like the best $6 or $10 or however much it was I have ever spent. All right, that's the gist of that. Paint these little feety feets. My very beautiful professional paint job I'm doing. Do you always use chalk paint? Yes, I am a content creator for Dixie Belle Paint Company. So I only use Dixie Belle, and I will use their silk paint, which is an all-in-one paint, and they also have clay paint. So it just depends on what I'm using because they do have 3 different lines of paint. So it just depends on my mood, honestly. But that's what I use. Okay. All right, now we're gonna turn this bad boy. She's heavy, so let's just try to do that as gently as possible. Why do you go to the gym? So I can move furniture. That's why, because everything is so heavy. All right, we're gonna finish painting this leg, or I'm going to forget about it. Paint the back of it. I know some people paint all the hard areas first so they don't forget, which is super smart, but not very fun for a live. So we're just doing it. We're doing the things. We're gonna turn it one more time. And I can get the inside of this shelf with you guys. And then we'll raise you back up. Again, I have very little paint on here. It's not even paint, but primer. Just to kind of, so it dries faster. I just don't use a lot. Even when I'm painting, I don't use a lot of paint. I'm very light-handed. Fan's blowing my hair in my face. We've been able to sleep with the windows open at nighttime. I'm so excited about that. It's been like in the 50s and 60s at night. Definitely been enjoying that. I just am a huge fan of sleeping with windows open. I don't know if you guys are or not, but it is like my favorite. Okay, you guys are talking amongst each other. I will let you do that. We'll paint down here and then we'll move you guys up. And then I'm gonna let's try to paint her in fluff. I just really want to paint her in fluff. Just to have a nice light background and see where I want to go from there. I might do dried sage, I don't know. French linen, I'm so torn. I don't know what to do. I just want her to be pretty. But she will be. This piece is pretty to begin with. You can do 2 full coats if you want to of this. I recommend allowing 2 hours of dry time in between, and then you can let it dry overnight to make sure that your primer is fully cured. All right, you guys can see this shelf, so we're gonna come in here. I'm not gonna paint the underneath side, I don't think, live with you guys, because that's silly. But when I am not on camera, I'm gonna flip the piece over and paint the underneath. No one's gonna see that, but the only time someone's gonna see it is when they lay the piece in their car, and I just want it to look finished. I know that sounds silly, or if you happen to be across the room and you catch it, you're gonna wanna see that it is finished. You can paint the backs of your pieces of furniture if you want to. On smaller pieces I do, on larger pieces I just honestly put Big Mama's butter on there just to kind of freshen it up. And we're just going to come in over here and make sure that it is getting everywhere. Isn't she beautiful? All right, let's raise you up just a smidge to get that top shelf. I don't even have to get up, I love it. I like sitting down. I don't like sitting in my stool. I'd rather just sit on the floor. I'm like a little kid that way. I'm just gonna sit on the floor. Does anybody else have a favorite place that they like to sit? Do you like to sit on a stool? Do you sit on the floor? Do you sit on a mat? Where do you feel creative? Where is your creative space? I feel like it matters too. Like you have to be in that creative mindset or you're not going to be able to create. I tried to work yesterday. I literally walked into my garage and walked right back out. I was like, not feeling it today. Not feeling it. Wanted nothing to do with it. And that happens. And then I went live and I had an amazing live last night. Sometimes you just need to recharge your battery. Don't feel guilty for that. You can't be fabulous every time. There we go. So I'm gonna leave that. Grab, where's the lid? There's the lid. Like hiding things from myself. Here's my lid. Put my lid back on. And since this stuff is adhesion primer, I'm going to spray my brush so that it is damp and it's easier for me to clean it. Come on. All right, here we go. All right. Ugh. So, I can do two things. I can paint her in caviar or I can paint her in fluff. Where's my paint? Which way are we going, guys? Black or white? Fluff or caviar? That's what I have here in front of me. I'm gonna do the inside a different color, a pop, so. And possibly decoupage paper. Fluff. All right, one for fluff. Anybody else? Fluff. All right, one more vote. I missed my brush while you guys are. Patty, you're gonna be the deciding factor if you're still on here. Fluff. Fluff it is. All right, we got all fluffs. All right, perfect. So now I'm just going to drop you to about right there. Put this over here and shake my fluff. You can stir it if you want to. You can shake it however you want. I'm going to be very careful painting this. I do not want to reactivate this because it is not cured. I just want to paint it with you guys. All right. Fluff is a gray white. It is not the whitest white. The whitest white is cotton. This is my favorite Dixie Belle Mini. It's like floofed out on the sides because I've used it so much. And it's just my favorite brush. Whenever it is clean, I use it just because it is my absolute favorite brush. Okay, we're gonna do the sides a bright color, I think, and we're gonna do some like decoupage paper on here, I think. So we're just gonna give it a nice, clean background for it to adhere to. All right, so we're gonna come in underneath. I'm just gonna paint this beautiful, crisp color. I paint with a very light hand and I paint in all directions, and then afterwards I do my finishing strokes. This paint is a little thicker. We're gonna thin it out a little bit, but not too much because I don't wanna reactivate my primer underneath. This will obviously need way more than one coat. When I do lighter colors, I tend to have to do at least 3 coats of paint One to lay it down, my second for coverage, and then my third just for areas that I may have missed. Since I will be putting decoupage paper on the front of this, I probably will not do 3 full coats of paint, but I will definitely do 2. I'm adding just a little bit of water to my paint because it's kind of thick. And then I'm going to find my popsicle stick that I used that's scraped off, that had my mud on it, and I'm just gonna mix it up. Just a little bit to thin my paint out. Sometimes that happens. I don't typically use fluff a lot, so it just gets a little thicker sometimes, and that can happen. You just wanna add a little bit of water back to it and it'll be fine. All right, I'm gonna mist my brush. If you are worried about misting your piece, mist your brush first, so that way you don't have to. I mean, that's still pretty good coverage, even for just my first coat. And then very gently, I go over it with my finishing touch. It's very pretty. I like it. I think I'm going to use a floral decoupage paper just to keep it like super soft and girly, and then do a pop color inside. I may even paint the sides of the drawers the same color just to keep it like super. When I have smaller pieces like that, I think you might get away with 2 coats the way that this is covering. Yeah, it is, right? It is looking really good. I love when I can get away with 2 coats. I'm like, yes, I feel like I won something I wasn't anticipating on winning. And I'm like, yeah, awesome. All right, again, it's gonna be covered, so I'm not too terribly worried about it. Make sure you guys can see. There's a little crack right there that I was going to put Dixie mud in, but if I'm going to cover it with paper, it's not going to matter. It'll be fine. Next week, I'll apply the decoupage paper with you guys, so you guys can see how to do that. I'll have it all painted and ready to go from there. We'll do all the fun stuff next week too. I like to make sure that I have that for you guys so you guys can see start to finish. And she's a big piece, but it's relatively easier to handle than like a giant dresser. Make sure I'm not missing you guys. My leg, I always sit the funniest ways and my legs fall asleep. I'm the worst for that. That is the only thing I don't like about sitting on the floor. I always put myself in the strangest leg positions to sit down here. And we just have this down here, and you guys can see like this is definitely doable. Grab something that you think is beautiful and just go for it. My fan is drying this paint a little quicker than I would like it to, but that's fine. You notice I have not misted at all while I'm painting because I don't want to reactivate the paint or the primer that's underneath it. I've only misted my brush if I felt like it was dragging. And we're just going to grab the insides here. I'll keep a close eye on this to check for bleeding. If it bleeds, I will take clear boss and paint over it and then go back over again with my paint. That is a little trick that you can do if you have used Slick Stick instead of boss. I think it looks pretty good. And this is almost dry. It's cold. But she's looking pretty good. Let me see. Let's turn her. Ugh. I'll do just the outside of her. Goodness, she's a beast. She doesn't want to move. She's a beast. All right, we're going to paint down here on her little feety feet. I kind of like her feet because she looks like she could just kind of like dance. Like she's ready to go dancing. We're gonna come in a little heavier. Again, I don't want to overwork it because I don't want to reactivate anything. See how great that coverage is? That's so pretty. Definitely digging that. And then I'm just going to come in on my edges because I will paint the whole inside a different color. So just in the end part will be a different color. The whole rest of it will stay this beautiful fluff. And if I get some over it, it's fine because I'm going to be repainting it anyway in a brighter, more vibrant color. What do you guys think? And then I'm going to paint this lip too because there's this little lip right here. When my drawers are real tight like these ones are, I will add gilding wax to it. So that way there still is a little bit of pop of surprise when you open it. But paint sometimes can add thickness to your drawers and they can rub. And the way to avoid that is you can use gilding wax. Pop you guys up just a smidge. I think it's coming along nicely. She's gonna be fun. She won't be too crazy, but she'll definitely still be really fun and have a lot of character. I don't want to take away from too much of her character that she already has. Second coat is definitely a must on this one. What do you guys think so far? Let me turn her so you guys can see. She's cute, right? I think so. So, like I was saying, my drawer lips up here, I will probably paint this or stencil, depending on how I feel. We'll see. We'll see how fancy I get. And it also depends on how much time I have too. So, all right, you guys. Well, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Stay tuned for next week. We will be applying decoupage paper to the front of her, and I will have everything painted. So we'll just be doing the decoupage and the finishing touches on her. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I greatly appreciate it. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you. I will catch you guys next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Same place to do all of the fun things. And I hope everybody has a wonderful and safe week, and I will catch you guys later. Thank you so much, Dixie Belle, for having me. I greatly appreciate you. You can find all the products that I used today at your local retailer. If you click at the Dixie Belle website, you can go to the top left-hand corner, type in your zip code, and you will be able to find all of the products that I used. So thank you so much. I have a great idea, I'm reading. Have a great day. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.